Guys coming from behind you on fresher tires and get around the guy in front of you.
Apparently right there, lap time wise, we were equal to him. So I don't know. We're gonna see how it plays out. We've kind of made our bed, so it is gonna be what it's gonna be. So Holiday Inn Chevrolet is doing a good job, and I'm glad we got Burton in the seat. So we'll see.
All right, Pat. He's anxious to get back up on the box for the restart.
You could tell. Yeah. Martin Truex Jr. is the lucky dog. That puts 18 cars on the lead lap.
Okay. I was pretty impressed with that 88 car. That Navy car, as banged up as it was, he was pretty fast just before that caution flag came out. So probably pass a couple of cars before this thing's over. But the real question is up front.
I like Brad Parrott toying with his driver under caution. Pit now after you've already passed it. So Casey Mears low on fuel. Jeff Burton has a good car. Should be able to get there. Here you see the top 10 as they run right now.
That will be running tomorrow in the NASCAR Nextel Cup race. And guess what? Top 10. You'll see them tomorrow for 400 miles.
23 drivers that started this race are scheduled to start tomorrow's Nextel Cup race here at Chicagoland.
As a matter of fact, the first 14, first 15, 16, first 16 cars are scheduled to drive tomorrow.
Let's see what happens. Carl Edwards is 5th. Kurt Busch is 6th in that line. .28 to go.
Boyer's got a pretty good run. Got the door shut on him. Trying to get around Burt there in the 29 car.
And Mears
giving him fits down there.
Exactly right.
He wants that lap back, and he's not giving Casey Mears any slack.
Biffle is 2 laps down. Boy, Biffle really racing him hard.
Oh, we see, here we go. Burt trying to go on the inside of Biffle, make it 3 wide.
Going to try and force Biffle up high, see if he can get underneath them as they head for 3.
That helped out himself, and it also helped out Casey Mears in that 42 car.
And gave Casey a little bit of breathing room there.
Sure did.
See how much momentum Burton has now.
See, Biffle in the 16 is 2 laps down. He is not eligible for the lucky dog. Several cars 1 lap down, so that's why he was trying to get in front of the leader so badly.
Carl Edwards is up on the back bumper of Kevin Harvick's car. See him right there, 21, down to 60.
Allen?
Carl Edwards, talking to his crew chief a little bit ago, Bill, said his car a little bit too loose, meaning he doesn't have the back end grip he'd like to have. He said, I'll do the best I can. Well, you know they believe he's the best out there, and he's trying to get back to the front. Matt?
Kurt Busch absolutely focused, not saying anything on the team radio. His spotter, Jeremy Brickhouse, is trying to keep him abreast of the traffic in front and what the leaders are doing. You can see Busch trying to work the bottom down in 3 and 4, a little higher down in 1 and 2. Marty?
And Matt, today Carl Edwards has been doing most of his passing up in the on the bottom groove of the racetrack. So both of the Richard Childress racing cars, the 21 of Kevin Harvick and the 2 of Clint Boyer, have been told do not give him the bottom. That's why you see him going around on the top instead. They will not give up the bottom. They're going to make him do it on the high side.
Well, he did it. He got by the 1. He got by Harvick.
Edwards last time by the start-finish line was 2.1 seconds behind Mears.
I just don't think Kurt Busch's car is as good in traffic as it was out front. He just doesn't seem to really be as fast as he was when he had that clean air.
Edwards has moved to the top of the racetrack in that 16. He's going to get in the wall. He isn't careful. My gosh. That was close, I thought.
I bet he did too.
I think he did. He's still trying to get by this Clint Boyer number 2 car.
Kenseth in the 17 takes a spot away from Kurt Busch.
Take a look at the speeds at the line.
Being out front is a premium.
There's just nothing like track position and having all that clean air.
Unless you're going to run out of fuel.
That's the problem, Matt.
BP, that's exactly what Kurt Busch said before they made the last stop. He said the car is just silly fast, so strong out front in clean air. He was unsure just how good it would be back in traffic, and that has been his biggest issue. Stuck back in traffic, the car is to tick on the tight side.
And Matt, before Casey Mears took over the lead, when some of these leaders pitted and basically handed it to him, he had been moving through the pack, and when he got in clean air, his crew discovered that that was exactly what that car needed. It operated so much better out of traffic, and that's what he's been doing ever since he's been up front. He has been told, try to save me a little fuel, but that's tough to do, and basically, as we've been saying, they have played their hand, and he hopes that that 42 will just sip the gasoline on toward the end of this race.
All right, Carl Edwards has moved into that third position, but he's almost 3 seconds behind the leader. Alan, what are they saying now?
Carl just called on the radio last lap by Benny. He asked his crew chief, Pierre Cattell, to give him each lap, his lap time and the lap time on the leader. He wants to know if he's making up ground or if he needs to try something else on the racetrack to get closer to Casey Mears.
Mears pitted on lap 130. Edwards on lap 153. He has fresher tires and enough fuel to reach the finish. Edwards does. Mears older tires and maybe not enough fuel.
And that time by, Casey Mears was faster than Carl Edwards by about a half a tenth.
Carl Edwards needs to be, I think, more concerned about getting in front of Jeff Burton right now.
Yeah.
Because if Casey Mears does run out of gas, he's got to be in second place to win this thing. And right now, he's still behind the 29 car of Jeff Burton.
Let's take you on a top 10 through the field, Dave.
Casey Mears leading this race, trying to save it on fuel, trying to win for Chip Ganassi Racing. They haven't had all that much luck this year in the Nextel Cup Series, trying to do something on the Busch side with the 42. Allen.
Jeff Burton has been stuck on third here at Chicagoland Speedway. 3 NASCAR Busch Series races, 3 third-place finishes. He wants to win today. Carl Edwards, well, we told you he called in and asked about his lap time comparisons with the leader. You can hear determination in his voice. He wants to try and pull this victory out. Marty?
Well, Alan, Clint Boyer just radioed to his crew a moment ago, said the car has gone too tight. His teammate Kevin Harvick actually is catching him, trying to pass him on the outside. That's an impressive pass going into turn 1. Harvick, his teammate, as we just said, passing him. His car actually getting better the longer they run. Matt Kenseth did not get the break going through traffic that Carl Edwards and Kurt Busch got. He said the car was just not good through there, too tight, late in the run here for the 17 bunch.
Guys are racing pretty hard right there. This Boyer down on the bottom.
Harvick racing for the championship in the Busch Series. Boyer also.
Kurt Busch has got a good run on these guys right here. He may take a spot away from Boyer. 39 car is up beside him.
Matt, about that 39.
His worst ever finish in the NASCAR Busch Series, Bill, 4th. He's trying to work the inside of Boyer. How much does that fresh air out front mean? About 4/10 of a second for the 39 of Busch.
Very close. Boyer holds the position. This is the race for second that Wally was talking about.
And you think might be the race for the win.
Yeah. Taking the high side. It's like he's got the momentum coming off the 2. Oh, yeah.
Carl Edwards to second, the pole sitter. So he sets out in search of Casey Mears.
And all of a sudden, the 60 car is becoming faster than the leader.
He's 2 seconds behind the leader, Carl Edwards.
Black flagging the 11 car for too slow on the racetrack.
Sorry, Bill. He was quite a bit faster that lap, though.
About a half second faster than the leader. Man, he is coming in that 60 car.
Dave?
And that's because, in the words of the leader, I have backed off a ton. He's trying to save fuel, but of course, the 60 gets closer and closer when he does that.
Mears in the 42. Edwards started from the pole. His second pole of the season.
He just stepped it up, didn't he?
He stepped it up. Casey Mears picked up over a half second that lap over the last lap.
Looked in the mirror.
Yeah,
huh?
he looked in the mirror and went, oh, forget saving fuel.
Let's go down swinging.
And I think that's what you got to do. You got to run the car as hard as you can, especially when you got somebody in second like Carl Edwards who's just flying.
Speeds at the line this time.
Edwards a little faster. 7/100ths of a second faster that lap. And at this moment, it is definitely a two-car race, the 42 and 60. Burton was about a quarter of a second slower than these cars.
7/100ths of a second isn't going to get it done in 12 laps when you're 2 seconds behind.
So if you're Mears, you got it to the...
I'm going as hard as I can. If I run out of gas, I run out of gas.
31.93 on you.
They're gambling, and you got to run hard, because if you back off, Carl Edwards is going to pass you.
3 of Edwards' 7 Busch Series wins have come from the pole. Has 2 wins already this year in the Busch Series, looking for number 3.
Go get him, man.
Don't you love it?
That lap, Mears was quickest car.
Clint Boyer looking back at Kurt Busch.
Kurt Busch, that car is just tight when he's in traffic.
Dave?
Are they playing poker or is this real? Benji Grubbs, the fuel man, did not have his Nomex mask or his helmet on. He just donned it. Will he have to fuel the 42? We'll have to see.
Not sure who they're playing poker with.
Yeah.
Everybody else is pretty much set to go.
Everyone else is doing all they can.
Unless Brad's sure he can make it and just put out the word.
And Casey Mears and Carl Edwards now are running almost identical lap times. And Edwards has a 2-second deficit to make up.
Matt?
Bill, moments ago, Kurt Busch came on the radio and apologized to his team for getting them on this type of pit strategy. He says the car, you would just not believe how tight it is. Remember, he was the one who made the call to try to stay out to at least lap 150.
You see that tomorrow, too, you think? Cars back in traffic having that problem?
Oh, absolutely. This place is so fast, and downforce is such a premium. And that's why you see Casey Mears up there. I mean, he's running these good laps. He's got all that air he's hogging to himself.
Alan?
Hey, Carl Edwards just came on his radio when he came by the pits and said, hey, tell Mears to let up a little bit. Let's make it fun. You think he's gonna?
No. He might have to back off if he runs out of gas.
There's Edwards looking for Mears. Mears looking for his first win. Jimmy Johnson got his first Busch Series win here. Justin Labonte got his 2 years ago. Johnny Sauter got his in 02.
You can here 6 more times. He's getting his lap traffic.
I'll tell you what.
204 on the leader, 31.96 on you.
Casey Mears is looking at that fuel pressure gauge on that dash as much as he's looking out the windshield right now.
Just waiting for it to start bouncing, meaning it's getting some air in the system.
Busch finally got underneath Clint Boyer, still working on completing the pass. He's got it.
Whoa, loose.
5 laps to go. Give yourself plenty of room in between all the walls.
Kevin Harvick in the 21, Matt Kenseth in the 17. Harvick is 4th, Kenseth is 5th. On board with Harvick.
Whoa, man, that was sideways off of there. Car number 4.
Augie Vidovich out of California.
Been 4 first-time winners this season in the Busch Series. Casey Mears would like to make it 5. A member of the Mears gang was on the pole at Indianapolis a couple of years ago. Moves to Hendrick Motorsports in 2007. Has really worked to get his NASCAR career in order. Very highly thought of, very highly respected, has never truly delivered on the promise and the potential.
And his grandfather is here. His father is here.